my buddy Brett Favre here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, Brett?
I'm good, Rich. I'm good. It's always great talking with you.
Oh, same. Right back at you. So, when you think about the Bears in the rivalry, and your memory would be what?
Super competitive, hard nose. Anything is possible. Throw the records out the window. The unpredictability of the game. The last game as a Packer that I played against the Bears was the year in which we lost the championship game to the Giants, and we played. I think it was the day or 2 days before Christmas. We played at Soldier Field. Chicago ended the year 3-13. Of course, we ended with a much better record and almost made it to the Super Bowl. But true to form, we had everything to play for. They had, 1 foot in the parking lot, so to speak. It was the coldest game, I think, in Soldier Field history, still to date. And we played as if we had nothing to play for, and we had 1 foot in the parking lot, and they absolutely just pounded us. And I attribute that to the rivalry itself. So you just never know in this rivalry. And just think of all the great players that have played against each other in this rivalry, and dating back to, way longer than we've been alive.
Well, I've got Urlacher on at the top of hour number 2. What was it like scanning the defense and seeing 54 on the other side?
Well, it was always a chess match. Obviously, Brian's athletic ability was superior to really anybody at his position. His skill set was totally different than anyone else you would face. And he was extremely bright. So not only did you have to outsmart him, but you had to be precise. Trying to get the ball over his head down the middle, and their Tampa 2 defense was very tough to do, and not many guys could do that. And so, you go, okay, well, we'll throw it under him, and that was equally as hard. His skill set was just so good that getting a blocker up on him on the second level was easier said than done. On paper, there's a lot of things you could do against him in that defense, but when it came down to actually executing it, it was a much different story.
So now, obviously, Brett,
great player.
We all know, Brett, you're a Mississippi guy, and you were acquired by the team from Atlanta. Did anybody have to sit you down or tell you about the significance of playing the Bears before you first did in Green Bay?
No, I was actually listening to NFL Network last night. They had Mike Singletary on it, and I echo a lot of the things he said. And that question was posed to him, and much like I would answer it. You sort of learn very quickly from mostly the elder statesmen, either on the team presently or like in my case, Ray Nitschke and Max McGee and a fair amount of guys still lived in the area. And it seemed like the first conversation you had with them always ended up talking about the Bears, and which I thought was kind of weird, like why the Bears? But so it was kind of etched in your mind right away. And I guess that just kind of stays with you, and then you then in turn become the elder statesman, and you relay that to the younger generation, and it just kind of falls in line.
And when you played them, I mean, did you ever then become that guy who would tell new Packers, hey, let's circle this one, folks. This is pretty big to everybody around here. Did you then become that guy?
Yes, I did do that as well as others. When Bear Week was getting close, I would, much like the playoffs, and veteran players will say that to the younger group when approaching the playoffs. It's a much different game. The speed is greater, and all that, I guess, to a certain extent is true. But from a rivalry standpoint, it was unmatched by any other. So you kind of heightened the awareness for the young. I mean, it just was like the first day of practice. You come out Bear Week, and it was like the first day of practice ever. You were running around. You were fired up. You were excited about whatever the game plan was, and it just brought a heightened, an overly heightened sense of excitement than it would any other week.
Couple more minutes with Brett Favre.
Now this one, this opens the entire season and the 100th year. So this brings even more of a special meaning.
Doesn't it though? I mean, doesn't it though? Did you ever bark at Ditka or him back at you? You got a good story like that from this rivalry?
No, I was always afraid of him. I was afraid at 65 he'd kick my ass, and he probably would have. So, there's some that you don't provoke.
Yes.
Warren Sapp was one. Urlacher was another one. Reggie White was one, of course. Mike Ditka was even in his retired and older age, you did not provoke him.
I bet. Hey, there's going to be a lot of reminiscing, Brett, here in the NFL 100 season, and so many moments that you have provided. I got to ask you to pick one. If you could pick one, say, this is the one I'm going to give to NFL Films, this is the one I'm going to give to NFL Network, this is the one I'm going to give to everybody that's talking about memories from my career, the thing that I want people to remember that I did, and I know, again, you're a team guy, but your moment would be what in this NFL 100 season, Brett Favre?
In regards to this rivalry?
No, overall, your entire career that put you in Canton.
Oh boy, that's a tough one. I would have to go with the game in which I played, after my father died, just because of the circumstances and really there was only one option really for me in playing in that game, and that was to play better than I'd ever played in my life, and I was able to achieve that and honor my father, which was my only goal in that game.
It was amazing, Brett. I mean, are you aware, again, before I let you go back to your golf game, are you aware of the people you touched on that night at all?
Yes and no. I know people still talk about it, and I'm honored that they do. Obviously, I wish the circumstances were much different. But I'm extremely grateful for the outpouring of compassion that just fans in general, whether you were a fan of mine or the Packers or, like in that case that night, the Oakland Raider fans, when my name was called out, gave me a standing ovation. And I've said this, I said it in my Hall of Fame speech. They don't do that for anyone. And to honor me and my father that way was very special.
And the last one for you, Brett. Last time you got a call to kick the tires on whether you'd want to play football again. When was the last time that happened?
Oh, I'm going to say probably 8 years ago, 7 years ago.
No kidding.
I guess I'm a little too gray now.
Do you remember which team it was? That was the last one to call you to see if you'd be up for it?
It seemed like it was the Rams or somebody like that. I've forgotten, but it's been long enough that obviously I've forgotten.
Okay. Hey, Brett, go hit it. How'd you hit on the front? What does your game look like these days?
I suck. I absolutely suck.
Come on.
We're playing a great course, Mobile Country Club. Me and my brother and three buddies. We play somewhere every week, at least once.
Okay.
And I'm not a big golfer. I used to be, and so we just try to play different places. And we're playing a great golf course, Mobile Country Club, right now.
Okay.
Hotter than hell.
Okay. And so, are you giving out strokes, or are you mostly receiving strokes? What is it right now? What is this game?
I refuse to take strokes. I got too much pride. I probably should take strokes because in the end, I always fork over a little money. I don't bet a lot because I'm pretty tight with my money.
Sure.
But it's feast or famine with me. I play about as much as I put forth effort. Mm-hmm. So I don't practice putting, and therefore I don't make any putts.
Well, at least we gave you 10 minutes of a reset here. Go out, get your mind right, get straight. And usually people who appear on the Rich Eisen show get a bump of some sort. I have a feeling you're going to have a great back
nine. I think I'm going to bring you the next 9.
Sounds great, Brett. Thanks for calling, bud.
Okay, Rich. Always great talking with you.
Right back at you. You are the best. That's Brett Favre.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.